Lorena, Chapter 1. The sun shined bits of yellow strings that struck through the open window, drawing silhouettes of dancing bodies shuffling back and forth to the music of the tap and knock of thin silver sabres. Tiptoe, tap, knock. The anthem in the air vibrated in the white room, with chipped paint and exposed brick bouncing off the cracked wooden hard floors. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tap, knock. A different verse to the same anthem quivered in the room of the swordsman, one frustrated by the lack of performance, the other composed and well-mannered. The jewellers held their thin swords vertical in front of their masked faces, and then whipped the blade, extending it to their sides, bowing to one another. Each of them withdrew their helmets and shook each other's hand. 5-0, little brother. Try again tomorrow? Lorena asked, tapping her sword on her brother's shoulder. Her light brown hair ran down her back as she waved it around, trying to give it character, waiting for her brother to respond. I can't tomorrow. Idis and I have plans, he said. How are you going to get any better if you don't practice, Abe? Lorena asked in a teasing voice, trying to make her brother feel guilty. Pout those blue-green eyes all you like. I got my butt kicked today. No need to get it kicked tomorrow, said Absalom, with sweat dripping down his brow. Lorena laughed at him. Fine, then. I'll just return your birthday gift, and Abe just become my favorite brother, she said jokingly, whipping her hair into her brother's face as she pranced away. Weirdo, he said in a rather hushed voice. I heard that, Lorena yelled back at him. Good, Absalom shouted. Lorena removed her fencing equipment from her body and rinsed her face in the washroom, but didn't bother showering. She brushed out her hair to untangle and smooth it, and then lifted it into a bun, stabbing it with a small sword to hold it in place. She glided into a pink halter-tank leotard with matching shorts to go over them, and kicked on a pair of white leg warmers and shoes that looked like silk slippers. She quickly stowed away her protective suit and sabre into her snow-white fencing bag and waited for her brother outside the men's shower room. Absalom finally exited the washroom. His hair was styled, waving to one side with a few strands out of place. His blue eyes swirled like the ocean. His beard was short and rough, and his tall body fit and toned. Lorena was quick to mess the hair on his head. Finally! You took forever, she said to him. You're really annoying sometimes, you know that, he said, slightly irked by his sister's nagging love. Come on, drive me to ballet, or I'm going to be late, she said, ignoring his statement. The siblings walked outside to the crisp bite of the frigid air and headed to her car. Lorena put her hand on the handle of the door as it read her print and unlocked the vehicle. The hovercraft was a long-bodied automobile with wide, rounded features. Its colour was Roman red with white coves on both sides, streaming from the front hoverpods to near the back end of the hoverpods. It had 4 silver lights in the front and a menacing grille with silver bars like teeth. They hopped into the all-red interior, and the car rumbled to life. Though the weather was frigid, Absalom decided to drop the top down from the craft. What are you doing? It's freezing outside, Lorena scolded her brother, expecting to be warmed by the hovercraft. It's beautiful outside. I thought I'd drive in the open air, said Abe. Give me your jacket, then. Fine. Here. Absalom tossed her his coat. Jerk. The two drove off with the wind brushing their faces, a soft red on their cheeks. Lorena's nose began to sniffle from the cold air running across her face. She put on a pair of white fuzzy earmuffs to keep her ears from burning. The lighted soft blue roads were quiet for a weekend, as they travelled down wide roads and narrow streets. As they drove, they saw a cherry-red classic car coming from the opposite direction. It had 2 bold racing stripes down its centre and 2 doe-eyed headlights. Its grille looked like the open mouth of a whale, and its engine roared thunderously through the city. Its top was down as well, and the driver gave a few friendly honks on the horn as it sped down the empty road. You two are idiots. Why on earth do you and I just think it's a great idea to drive with the tops down when it's 40 degrees outside? Lorena said with chattering teeth. Because we're boys and it's fun. I wonder where he's rushing off to, Absalom said with a slight smile. Who cares? I'm freezing. Take this right. It's a shortcut. Absalom took the right and made a few small turns down side roads, finally arriving at Lorena's ballet studio. Thanks, Abe. I'm taking your jacket with me, she said. That's fine. Am I picking you up? he asked her. "Nope. I have hoplology after this. I'll take the transit home," Lorena answered. "All right. See you at home then." "Don't scratch the car or I'll kill you," she said as her brother took off, waving his hand in the air to say goodbye. Lorena shook her head in annoyance. She entered her studio. It wasn't much warmer than it was outside. "At least it's not windy in here," she thought as she took off her brother's jacket and put on her ballet point shoes. She laid out her bleach white mat and began doing some light stretching exercises for her feet and the muscles and joints around that area. She then moved on to relax the muscles and joints in her quads and hips, raising her leg into the air and then pulling it to the side, then alternating to the other leg. After 5 minutes of warming up on the mat, she moved over to the ballet bar to finish her exercise routine. Her instructor came in just as she was finishing her warm-up with a short and scrawny teenaged boy who had a particularly large and pointy nose, and a few other members of the symphony. "Good afternoon, Mrs. Pavlova," Lorena greeted her teacher. "Hello, dear. How are you doing today?" her instructor asked. "I'm doing great. Ready to get started. How are you doing, Sebastian?" "Good," he said in a coy and timid manner, avoiding eye contact as he headed towards the grand piano. Lorena smirked at his mannerisms, thinking they were odd but cute. She said hello to the other instrumental players and then readied herself for the performance. The music began to play. The violins were rapid and short-noted. The bells chimed, giving an angelic-like sound to the majestic dance, and the piano gave the mood of elegance, as Lorena turned and kicked in a graceful choreograph. From développe to balancer, from turn to turn, and into a grande jetée from one end of the room to the other, she moved exquisitely. Her legs were lean and strong as they flexed and relaxed throughout the routine, and her movement was precise, but not without humanity and emotion. Lorena dreamed to be a prima, a title that hadn't been given in nearly a century. "Lorena, my dear, you are absolutely marvelous today. However, when you are coming down on the grande jetée, try to land more softly, like a cat jumping from a tree. Soundless, almost," said Anna, her instructor. Lorena moved back into position for the movement and attempted again. "Softer, dear, softer," said Anna, and again she tried, and then once more. "There it is, Lorena, there it is," her instructor said with gratitude. Lorena, slightly out of breath and a bit tired, smiled as she rested her hands upon her hips. "Now, Lorena, let's work on the tempo. You need to be a little faster, my dear. Your movements are beautiful, but the pace needs to be quicker. Did you notice sometimes you're a little behind the music? Let's fix that." Lorena pushed her body until she satisfied herself and her instructor. Her mind focused only on perfection, never believing she couldn't achieve it. "You did well today, Lorena. If you want the lead for the Raven, then you must master this solo piece, and I think you'll have it, my dear. Good job. I'll see you in 2 days." Anna kissed her cheeks and left the room. Lorena's heart was still racing from the dance, and fluttered with passion at the thought of lead for the Raven. Her heart was filled with fire, as her mind was filled with dreams. Her eyes could see her fate. All she had to do was take it. Lorena showered off the salt of her sweat that laid on her skin from the movement in her arts, and let her body repose and her mind fall empty. The pitter-patter of the water hit her body and dripped down the delicate lines of her skin as the droplets found their way to the floor and twirled down the drain. The steam of the shower filled the room like fog resting on the dewy plains. She took a few deep breaths, her mind and body refreshed and alert, as she listened to the sound of a leaky faucet keeping beat to a song that never played. Lorena quickly put on a fresh pair of clothes, stowed away her ballet attire, and stepped back outside into the chill autumn air. The lighted lines bordering the road started to glow as the sun began to dip closer to the horizon. She walked a couple of blocks, letting the leaves dance at her feet as they rushed in the gentle touch of the breeze, and walked inside a coffee shop called the Rabbit Foot. The music played softly, a rhythmic blue beat, in the dimly lit shop as the customers talked with one another. "A turtle truffle latte, please," Lorena requested. An older man with curly grey hair and a stout belly greeted her. "Lolo, my beautiful princess, it's an honor to serve you." said the elder man. Lorena gave a chuckle and a smile. I'm really not your princess, you know. I don't inherit anything, nor do any of my brothers, she said to the shopkeep. You're more than a princess than anyone in the world, Lolo. Your family has been chosen not once but twice by the Lord to serve and to lead. To me and to many, you are our princess, the man said. You're always so sweet, Effiak. What do I owe you? She asked. Don't worry about it. You're in here all the time. Are you sure? Lorena, I'm sure. Just as I'm sure I'll see you 2 days from now. Now go on, my princess, he demanded in kindness. Thanks, Effiak. I'll see you around. Goodbye, my princess, the old man said as Lorena exited the shop.